live in vertical mode for a couple different reasons. Because I'm raw and real today, just like every day, raw and real. That's right. I'm going to be broadcasting while I'm driving because I want you to know there are no notes, there are no teleprompter lines in my phone, right? I'm not reading from anything or a script coming right from the head through the heart, out the mouth to you. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, glad you're here. I like to go live in vertical mode because I know it shows up in the shorts feed, and then I get connected to people who aren't already subscribed to the channel, usually new people. So I'm expanding my area of influence. And listen, subscribe. It's all good, positive self-improvement content. You're not going to be disappointed. Glad you're here. Hey, it's a nice warm day here in Florida. Sunny Florida today, 80 degrees. And I'm kind of pushing it today. I'm pushing the physical activity today. I did a brutal 2-hour workout. And just as I'm finishing my workout, I got a call from the tennis club. Hey, Rick wants to play singles with you today. I said, okay, I'll do it. I got just enough time to go home, have a nutritious meal, with plenty of time to get to the tennis club. And that's going to be the theme of the stream today, is what to eat. I had some feedback from a guy who follows my channel. He says, hey, Cliff, talk about what you eat during the day. What about nutrition? I've talked a lot about nutrition. You know, listen, it's very simple. Nutrition is so simple. Eat nutrient-dense foods. Try to eat whole foods. Try to stay away from, as much as possible, ultra-processed foods. Stay away from the chemically altered oils. Have avocado oil, virgin olive oil, real butter. Stay away from the chemically altered oils, the Wesson oils, the Criscos, all these things that people used to use all the time for cooking. Now, sometimes we can't totally get away from it, especially when we go out to restaurants, unless we ask, what are people using to cook with? But of course, the most economic way they cook with oils is the chemically altered oils. Hard to find, you know, the perfect food when we go out to dinner. So that's the secret. When I look at my approved meal list, approved foods in the Primal Health Coaching Institute that I went to, they give you an approved food list. You know what? There are so many delicious, nutrient-dense foods out there. You have a plethora of choices to make. It's not about restricting yourself. You don't have to restrict yourself, by the way, and it's not a diet. It's a lifestyle. First thing you want to do, don't limit yourself to all or nothing. Yeah, pizza's not the best. So, but if you say to yourself, I can never have pizza again, it's going to be an all or nothing deal, and you're not going to be able to stick to it. It's not going to be sustainable. But if you knew every once in a while, I'm probably going to have a piece of pizza or two, and I'm going to enjoy it, then you're not going to feel like you've gone off something. You fell off my diet. Well, I might as well eat 2 pizzas. When you already have it baked into your lifestyle, once in a while I'm going to have a piece or 2 of pizza, you know, but I'm probably going to limit it to 1 or 2 pieces. And the fact that I don't have it very often, my body can handle the carbs, the glucose spike, because it's not chronic. I don't have chronic glucose in my system. So first of all, don't set yourself up for failure. Don't be so restricted. As a matter of fact, like I was saying, the amount of delicious, nutrient-dense foods that are not chemically altered, that are not high fructose corn syrup, that are not just loaded with sugar, that are not fake fats in foods. There's so many out there. You just learn how to buy it the best you can. You know, you go in the grocery store and you get the best meat possible. And if you can't go to a farmer's market, which would be really great, locally owned, farmed meat, fish, fowl, eggs, well, then you do the best you can, right? Start looking at the labels. What does USDA mean as opposed to organic? What is the best certification to know that this is the best, non-processed or limited processed food? It's so easy to do. And if you just make a couple different choices, you're going to be surprised at how quickly your health, your energy, and your vitality is going to turn around. Hey, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Glad you're here. But my friend Dan said, talk about nutrition. First of all, the big enemy is sugar. Sugar is the big enemy. I used to think it was fat. And then I realized, wow, I'm getting pre-diabetic. And I got that way because of all of the pasta that I was having. Pasta is carbohydrates, and all carbohydrates get converted to glucose, which the body recognizes as sugar, and so it produces insulin to counteract that glucose level. So we have to get ourselves so that we're not insulin resistant. We want to be insulin sensitive. And we can do that by eating a lot of protein, nutrient-dense foods that are rich in protein and healthy fats, but not in carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, there's no nutrient value really. We burn carbohydrates for energy, but it's not the most efficient thing to burn. The most efficient thing to burn is our body fat and ketones. Our brain burns for thinking energy and processing our bodily functions. Ketones. It's all about a keto diet. A ketogenic diet gets you to the point where you're metabolically flexible. You can get your body and so that it's fat burning. It can burn fat and glucose at the same time. And so once you become metabolically flexible, then you can have carbohydrates every once in a while and your body burns it efficiently. But you're also fat adapted. Your body can burn fat. And when you're fat adapted, you'll never have that, carbohydrate dive when you haven't had a meal, because your body is fat adapted. It can burn fat as energy. And so the next thing you know, when you don't have any glucose in your system and there's no glycogen left in your muscles, your body will burn fat as energy. And then you never have that hangry mood. You never get in that mood of, I got to have a meal. I haven't eaten in 5 hours. You don't get that anymore. That's how you know you're fat adapted and you're producing ketones, because you realize you're actually working out fasted and you have plenty of energy. And that's a good place to be. So try to get yourself fat adapted. If you can get yourself fat adapted, then you become metabolically flexible and your body can burn carbohydrates and it can also burn fat. And once you get there, you're never again going to have that carbohydrate low. You're not going to have like, oh my God, I'm hangry, I need some sugar. So get yourself fat adapted. Next thing you know, you're going to be working out fasted and you're going to have plenty of energy because you know you're burning fat as energy. So what are the foods we're going to eat? This is what we're going to eat. We're going to eat meat, fish, fowl, eggs, vegetables, fruits, nuts, and seeds. That's all you need to eat. Meat, fish, fowl, eggs, vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds. No chemically altered oils. We're going to have avocado oil. We're going to have virgin olive oil. We're going to cook with those oils, and it's going to be great. And then you're going to become fat adapted. And then you're going to be like me, Cliff Yates. You're going to have so much energy, people are going to think you're on something. People are going to think, why are you so high? Well, because I'm burning fat. And your body burns fat. And it's very efficient at burning fat. Let me give you a metaphor. Your body, well, it'll prefer to burn carbohydrates because it burns real fast. So burning carbohydrates is like burning cardboard in your fire, right? It flares up real fast, but then it burns out and you'll have that dip right after that cardboard is done flaming out, just like your body. But yet, once you get the fire burning and you put on some big logs, That's like your body burning fat. It's very efficient, and healthy fats like avocado, right? Egg yolk, those healthy fats, right? The fats in meats, fat in fish oils. Now you're like burning logs on the fire. It burns very efficiently, and it's powerful for a long, long time. That's what you want, everybody. And then you're going to be like the Cliff Yates team. You're going to be so unstoppable. Listen, one of our greatest resources is energy. Tell the difference. So, be smart with all your energy. Focus it in the right direction and make sure you have plenty of it. How are you going to achieve all your goals? How are you going to realize all your ambitions? How are you going to get to that creative image of your future unless you have the energy to do it? I have the energy to do it because I eat nutrient-dense foods. So in answer to my buddy Dan, I eat nutrient-dense food. Now, how do I get fat adapted? I went on a 16-8 lifestyle. That's what I do. So in other words, in the morning I have coffee, either black or with some heavy cream. Why? Because heavy cream is fat. And your body does not produce insulin to burn fat. So you're not having an insulin spike. So, and that fat, that heavy cream, it really sustains your appetite. You don't have one. So now you can continue your day with high energy. But after a while, you don't have any glucose left in your body. Now the glycogen stored in your muscles, that get burns off with exercise real quick. And now your body says, well, now I got to burn body fat because there's going to be no glucose coming in. When it gets on that glucose cycle, that's when you run out of carbohydrate glucose. Then your body takes a dive saying, give me some glucose now. Damn it, I'm going to make you hangry. So now you're getting used to going 16 hours without putting any carbohydrates in your system. Right? So if you stop at eating at 8 o'clock at night and then you go till noon the next day, your body says, okay, it goes into autophagy. It's called autophagy. What that means is your cells say, well, we're not going to be doing anything for a while. Let's clean house. Let's repair the dead shit in our cells here. Throw it out. Let's make our cell healthy again, ready to take on the day. Hey, now we're cleaned out. Now when insulin comes into the system, it's not resistant to insulin. It actually opens the door. Right? Insulin has the key to your cells. And when your cells are resistant, it shuts the door and won't even take nutrients in. That's why we want to be insulin sensitive, everybody. All right, now you have the key. Nutrient-dense foods, everybody. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I know people are jumping on and off here in the shorts feed. Glad you're here. You're in the right place. I'm Cliff Yates, unapologetically, crazy motivated, 99% of the time. But the key message is nothing's going to be 100%. But you know what? Go with the statistics. Go with the numbers. Yes, there are people who don't smoke and they get lung cancer. But that's not what the numbers indicate. Go with the numbers. Don't play around with them. All right, everybody, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I'm glad you're here. You're joining a community of progress, and you're going to learn, as I do every day, in every way, how I can get better than I was yesterday. All right, everybody. Appreciate you checking in. All right.